Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Today is November the 16th, 2023 on the ancient moon calendar, 2024 on the ancient sun calendar. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity. This is a sovereign living ancient, Article 3, Moorish American, Al-Moroccan, Universal Court action in alignment and according to the ancient Noahide laws as stated by this Holy Congress. We are the divine, sovereign, living justices, and Ego Sum Pauline Denise Ritchie. My free chosen sovereign appellation is Light Tajiri Bay. All are in capitis diminution nolo, in red ink, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. We are capite et corpus juris legalis, which is our statement that we are the lawful and legal, natural, living head and body for our empire. All Moors are the divine, original, indigenous, sovereign, ancient, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American ascendants of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Israelites, Hamathites, Cushites, and Hittites. Our full faith and trust, our allegiance, our honor, our credit, and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves. For we are the people who are the original indigenous, natural, divine, sovereign, ancient, Islamic, Moslem, empire state for Morocco. We are the Islamic, Moslem, de jure, Moorish National Republic federal government. We are ancient Washington District for Columbia. We're the Islamic, Moslem, Universal, Moorish American Consulate, and the Earthwide Article 3 Moorish American Consular Court. Today, we are exercising the law by our divine and sovereign status, which is the original indigenous, natural, divine, sovereign, ancient, Article 3, living United States District for Columbia Court. We are the sovereign fiduciaries, original creditors, the divine executors, the trustees, the divine ministers, the possessors, the titled beneficiaries, and titled trustors for all causes for action. We are peace. We are one nation. We are one state. We are one empire and one divine God. We hereby recognize ourselves and we accept our sovereign ascension, our sovereign divine ascension. We do hereby possess in our custody all land, all natural resources, and all commerce. We, the one true living divine God nation, are not at war, and we hereby exercise all eternal, ancient, original, sovereign, divine rights at this time and at all points in time, nunc pro tunc. The processes and principles and laws that we share are not our opinion. We have removed all dead actors from our minds, thereby freeing ourselves from presumed foreign bondage and enacted psychological operations. Along with our sovereign, powerful demonstrations and studies, these laws and processes that we share are based on principles of stare decisis, res judicata, and ancient positive supreme law for the land long established in sovereign order. Erudite principles and processes for daily application to intelligently govern our vast estate every day is what our ancestors have given us to share with the ancient sovereign nations, tribes, clans, states, and governments at earth. And for this, we are grateful. Islam. So before we get into our subject matter, the ancestors have told us once again to just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Just take a deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths because it is a spell. And just breathe. Just breathe and then visualize. Relax. Take 3 deep breaths. It's time for all of us to breathe again. We've been through a lot. Gods have been tested. We've proven that we know that we are God. We have proven our nobility because nobility is not just assumed, it is proven. And as we breathe, the breath of life because every time we breathe, we're breathing life into the earth. We are visualizing that the actors have packed their bags and left because they have. And now there are only Moors and our subjects. There is now peace on earth. Our wealth is manifested. We are now using our wealth to uplift all of fallen humanity. We travel at will. We lack no thing. We lack no thing. There is no lack at all in our lives. We possess, originate, we use and enjoy all things together. We are one. Indeed. Breathe. Just breathe. And visualize everything that you see for yourself because it is now manifested. What we're doing now is walking that manifestation through. We have everything, all the tools, everything that is necessary for us to manifest our estate, Islam. I'm going to share my screen so that we can see. There's a question in the chat. Are we suspended? And we're never suspended. That's number one. Suspended is probably we're going to change that terminology and state. Are we adjourning for the 23rd? That is something we can vote on right now, even as we speak. And thank you, Nobility, for that. That's because for us, we could do this every day, but we know that that next week, the 23rd, is an important day. It's not what we were told it was in the last era. This year, that day, the 23rd, it is thanks and giving. It is the shukran for the Moors. It is where those who came here express their thanks to us, actually. And what we do is we just accept the thanks that they express on that day. We accept it and we keep moving forward. All of that has been put back in its proper place. All of it has the moment we say it. So we're going to open the table and we will, just one moment, and what we'll do is we'll take a vote for everyone everyone who desires to take next week on Thursday and adjourn and not meet that day. We can take a vote on that. I'm okay either way, So what do you think, Congress? I'm okay either way.
Islam and
Islam nobility.
Sure. I vote that we heal on this one and start back up Sunday.
Okay. Islam.
Islam, Noble Phoenix Mikhail.
Islam.
I second that motion.
Islam. Okay. Let's put that on the table for a vote from everyone, since the motion has been Seconded. If you would,
Islam Empress.
state your name, not name, your appellation and your territory, and your vote, yay or nay, for adjourning on next Thursday, not meeting on next Thursday. This is the vote. The vote is, are we that we not meet here. Let me put it on the screen. So if you vote yay, then that means that you are in favor of adjourning for that day, and then those who vote nay will want to meet that Thursday. So let me just clarify what we're voting on. Just one moment. Really quickly, let me put it on the screen properly, since it is on the table. Yay is to not meet. Nay is to meet. Let's clarify. We want to just make sure that we clarify. Okay, we have two who have stated that they do not want to meet, so let's just put a couple there. Okay. Anyone else?
Islam.
Islam nobility.
Oh, yeah, I vote yay, not to meet.
Islam.
Thank you.
Islam.
I vote yay, but
Islam.
not to meet.
Islam.
Islam.
I vote yay.
Islam.
Islam.
I'm sorry, we did not hear you.
Islam. This is Sister Tyler from Kingdom of California, and I vote yes.
Okay, Islam. Islam. Justice Dumois first, and then the Empress, Justice Dumois.
I vote yay.
Islam.
Empress Shima Mahael from the territory in Indianapolis, Indiana. I will say nay. We want to enjoy our families and love on everyone. Yeah.
So you're saying yay, not to meet. Is that correct?
Not to meet. Not
okay.
To meet.
Islam.
Yes.
Thank you, Empress. Islam. Justice Tonis.
Islam. Tonis Bay, Khalifa, Apex Lockdown Territory. Yay.
Islam. Justice Tonis, what you got going on there? All right. All right, Islam. Islam nobility.
Reverend Smith, Bay, Mississippi Territory, I vote yay.
Islam. I'm trying to make sure I get what's in the chat. Belinda, we got your vote as well. Thank you. And yes, Islam.
I can go either way. So yay and nay. Justice Cynthia and Bay.
Okay. So I will put that is an abstain. I think, Empress Cynthia, I think that's considered an abstain. You can go either way.
Correct.
Okay, Islam.
Islam.
Empress
Johnson and Bay. Am I being heard?
Yes, yes, you are.
Digits. I can't tell.
Empress Shasha, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. I'm actually going to say, nay, I want to meet. But I also will step back and go along for the moment with the crew. But yeah, I'm saying nay. I'm not going to do the abstain. I'm saying nay. But
Okay.
whatever it is, it is.
Yes.
Islam.
Islam, Empress.
Islam.
Islam.
Angelica Yvette Dobbs Day at New York Territory. I too say nay. I feel that we should still meet.
Islam. Islam.
Islam.
Islam nobility.
Islam.
Empress Aisha, and then there's a noble that we can hear back there. Empress Aisha.
No.
I vote nay.
Islam. Empress Nana.
Yeah. Did that sound like a no?
No. Go ahead, Empress. Empress Nana.
Okay.
You didn't get your vote.
I vote nay.
Islam.
However, you know, if the majority wants to have some time off, then yeah, I won't be upset.
Islam. There's a noble that's speaking in the back. I believe it's
Pharaoh Spike
yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Virgin Land.
Yes.
I also vote nay.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Empress Rosetta.
I vote nay.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Justice Kansu.
Islam, Love Ibn Allah Bey at New York Territory. I vote nay.
Islam.
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 Islam, Justice Kansu, and then Empress Cynthia.
Correct.
I vote nay.
Islam. And then there's an Empress. Thank you, Justice Kansu. We got it. Islam.
I got the answer I wanted. I'm voting nay. Cynthia.
Islam.
Justice Cynthia and Day.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Justice Nathan.
Rashida Sarlar Bays, New York Territory. I vote nay.
Islam.
Like me.
Islam.
Islam.
Michael Community Israel, Shaka Maximum Territory. I vote nay.
Islam, Empress.
Islam.
At Tennessee Territory, Harold Musha Bay. I vote yay, less a member grand body requires that we meet. Otherwise, the 26th, I believe it is fine.
It's the 23rd. Islam. The 23rd. Yeah, Islam. So yes. Okay. Empress Cynthia. Yeah. Empress Cynthia. Do I remove this abstain?
Remove the abstain.
Okay. Islam.
Please.
Islam.
Departments of the hospital, like the Rengen Group.
Any other votes?
Islam.
Islam nobility.
Yes, I vote yay. We should not meet. Howard, Victor Lawrence, Florida Territory.
Say it again, Justice Howard.
I vote yay. We should not meet.
Okay. Islam.
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 Khalil Mohammed Bey, Trinidad and Tobago Territory. Nay.
Nay. Okay. Islam. And we're glad to hear your voice, by the way.
Pleasure to be
Islam.
here. Islam.
Any others? Any others?
Islam.
Islam.
Depends here. Trinidad and Tobago Territory.
Yes.
I vote.
What's your vote, nobility? We did not hear you.
I vote nay.
Nay? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Islam.
Islam nobility.
Justice Malika Kilbay, Illinois Territories. I vote yay.
Yay. Okay. Islam.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Islam's brother Mutaz Raid Bey, Great Seal, National Association of Mortgage Affairs from New York. Council Court in his house. I vote yay.
Yay. Okay. Thank you, Justice.
I said yay.
You said yay. You said nay or yay?
What?
Wait a minute.
Man, hold on.
Let
me get on my goddamn nerves here. What was the question? What was the question?
Do you want to meet this Thursday on Thanksgiving? Yes. Yay is to meet. Nay is to no. Yay is to not meet on Thursday. Nay is to meet on Thursday.
Do you want to meet?
I mean, I voted and I said that part.
You said yay?
I said I want to meet. If that's what you.
Let's meet then. Stop BSing. Let's meet.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep following up now. Come on.
Islam. You know, this is the first time we've ever had this type of a vote, where the results were what they are on the screen. Where this is the first time we've ever, and to me, it's a beautiful thing. Islam. Anyone else?
Sharon Matthew Bay, Kanata Territory, nay.
Nay. So you want to meet. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else?
Islam.
Islam, Justice.
Can I change my vote?
Yes. What did you vote previously?
I voted yay, and I want to change it to nay. Willis Smith, Mississippi Territory.
Okay, Islam. This is amazing to me. Wow. And thank you, Justice Willie, because that means I don't have to break the tie. Islam, anyone else? And as for me, I'm going to go with whatever the majority says. Okay, so anyone else? We want to make sure everyone votes.
Islam, Sierra Universal Bay.
Islam.
I say nay.
Nay. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Thank you, Empress.
13 love.
Anyone else? Okay. So we have 13 yays not to meet. So 13 are saying no, let us not meet. And 17 are saying nay, which means we will meet. So I will go with the majority, and we will meet on the 23rd. It doesn't say anything one way or the other about you, about your vote. It is ironic, though, that came up today, because one of the words that we're going to look at a little later in our subject matter talks about us assembling and what that means. And I would have never guessed that word meant to assemble. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and go with that word right now. The word that we had already planned to introduce in this is frequency. Frequency. We have uplifted the frequency at Earth simply by coming together and agreeing to assemble for Congress by court action. Sound money comes from the right source with the right sound and the right frequency. I was listening to a video by someone from the quote-unquote African diaspora. Yes, we will meet on the 23rd based on the outcome of the vote. We will meet at our regular time on the 23rd. I was listening to a video by someone who is leading, quote-unquote, the African diaspora, and she was saying something about the frequency and about how the modern Europeans that they were working with were angry at them because they would not
I can't hear you.
Because we have this and speak and govern. We have
Islam
changed the
Empress,
frequency.
we couldn't hear you. You
Yes.
had came out of sound when you were
Okay.
saying the important parts.
Of course. All right. So what I was saying was that I was listening to someone from the African diaspora. She is a doctor, quote unquote. And she was telling about how they would meet in Washington, D.C., quote unquote, for meetings with the modern European actors. And the modern European actors were yelling at them like they were children because they would not agree to come together and unify. Between them, there was no unity. Can you all hear me? Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Islam, yes, no, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we have uplifted the frequency at Earth simply by just coming together. We didn't have to all agree with everything all the time, as we've just demonstrated, but we must come together. And we've done that. So that is why everything is changing in our favor so quickly. And this word came up, frequency. It is an assembly. That's the obsolete, quote unquote, term. So this is further affirmation regarding the frequency at Earth. This word also means, it meant originally when the modern ones describe this word, they say crowded. Okay, but for us, it's not crowded, it's majority rule. Majority being those who are of the age of majority or the mature ones. Number 3 says the number of times any action, and we're talking court actions now, or occurrence is repeated, it is a frequency. And that's where sound comes from, sound money. We can hear, we can read, we can see. In mathematics and statistics, now this is the part that's important, where us meeting and frequency and all of that is happening. The modern actors would know, and this is what we told them, we said, you will know that we are awake and that you are to stand down by the number of times. In other words, if we persevere, if we keep going, we keep coming together, we keep meeting, you will know that it's a wrap for your acting. That's how you'll know. And that's biblical as well. That is biblical. But it says the ratio of the number of actual occurrences. Just one moment. It is the ratio of the number of actual times that action takes place, that we meet, that we assemble, that actual number of times that we assemble it's the ratio of that to the number of times that we could have met but we chose not to. Because see, that's what our ancestors were looking at, is they have the opportunity, they have the tools, are they using them? Are they taking every opportunity to meet? Are they taking every opportunity to govern, to demonstrate, to be themselves? The frequency rises the more opportunities we have that we take advantage of to govern this vast estate. So it's amazing that we have actually affirmed that we're absolutely governing. And, you know, we don't have to meet every holy day, because that's a holy day for us. We've taken that back because it belongs to us. It's a holy day. But every Friday is a holy day too, but every day is a holy day for us. In physics, the number of vibrations, this is number 5, frequency, the number of vibrations or cycles per unit of time, the number of cycles per second of an alternating electric current. Justice Howard talked about electric current in the last meeting. He gave us his wisdom on that, which was absolutely beautiful wisdom. And here it is again, presenting itself. So with that being stated, we will meet, and let me just go ahead and put that on the screen. We will meet November 23rd, which is thanks and giving. For us, those words are separate. It is merci for us, merci. In other words, we showed mercy, and mercy means thank you in French. And giving, Islam. With that being stated, those who have other things, or you want to spend time with your family, the Congress will go up on YouTube, because we just, this is our lot, this is what we do. Of course, as we just stated, to actually be here is what raises the frequency, Islam. So in our last Congress, I just want to take a moment and clarify. Yes, we will be meeting. I want to clarify our government structure, because in the past, you know, there were some who were saying, you got to have structure, you got to have structure. We were putting structure was in place in everything we've done the whole time. Here is our government structure. First and foremost is the Moroccan Empire, the Empire State for Morocco. That is the overarching, universal, galactic state that our minds are in. We are an empire, an ancient, everlasting, eternal, living, sovereign, divine empire. That's number one. And then I will carefully use the word under, knowing that it actually I won't use the word under, I'll use the word inner. Within the Moroccan Empire is the Moorish National Republic federal government. Okay. Just one moment. Okay, because I was hearing a little bit of static coming from somewhere, and I'm not sure where it was coming from. Okay. And then within the Moorish National Republic federal government is the Islamic Moslem United States for America. The Islamic Moslem United States for America is this is why the actors kept saying that America is a Christian nation. Their acting America, their acting corporation was a quote-unquote Christian nation, and that's in all capital letters, black ink and brackets, because that's not really what that is. They are one society under God. And we know who the God nation is. It is Islamic Moslem, United States for America, which is the ancient America from Al-Marak, from ancient times, always has been, always will be. A lot of people didn't know that there was an Islamic Muslim States United. So we are putting that information on the public record so that you do know. And then under or within, not under, but within the Islamic Muslim United States for America, there are the states, which is like Washington, Florida, Texas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The states, Jamaica, Jamaica is actually a country. It's a nation. And again, we're all one, so there's no separation. And then within the states are the cities, and then the counties are actually federal. We stated that a little early. The county and the federal go together. And then there's the United States, the special purpose vehicle by royal charter that we all voted on, that has a treasury and it has money and it has commerce going back and forth and things of that nature. That is on the level just above the companies and corporations under our authority. And all of those companies and corporations are within or inner standing the United States by royal charter, the special purpose vehicle. It's a financial vehicle. So that is how our government is structured. That is how our empire is structured. That's how our nation is structured. And here's the thing: the United States for America is earthwide, so everyone is United States for America, just like everyone was trying to be one united for Israel, quote unquote. United States for America is reciprocal. It's reciprocal. The United States for Brazil, the United States for Venezuela, the United States for Africa, the United States for Asia, the United States for the United Kingdom, the United States, all of that is, we're all one. We're all at that level here. And all of those are within the Moorish National Republic federal government, which is within the Empire State for Morocco, the Moroccan Empire. Okay. So please make a note of that so that as we speak about who we are, let us say this too, that the true Christians, the Christendoms, those that are in Christendom, the subjects that are part of Christendom, are a part of the Islamic Muslim United States for America, or Moorish subjects ipso jure. Okay? That's where Moorish subjects ipso jure comes from. So make a note of this statement here, because we've always had government structure. We've always been structured properly. There were some things that we had to bring together and come together and vote on and unify on so that we could move forward. And all of that had to be properly proclaimed so that the actors can stop acting like they're all of this, because they don't have to act like that. Okay? They've always known that, and Barack Obama even said that America is Muslim, is a Muslim nation. Muslim, Islamic Muslim, always has been, always will be. So Al-Marak and America are derivatives one of another. Both are Islamic Muslim. the states united. So as we're moving forward and creating bonds and doing all of these things, know that this is the structure for the bonds and everything. It's all within the Islamic Muslim states and the Islamic Muslim empire. And the Moors govern that empire at all times. Okay? Are there any questions or comments about this particular statement and setup? This is not new either, by the way. It's always been this way. It's always been this way. Islam. And hopefully this clarifies further for us why we have restated everything. Everything had to be restated because we're creating within our own government and our own empire. We're creating everything. We're not dragging anything dead into our empire and our estate. We're not reaching out there getting the dead and reaching into the cemeteries and pulling corpses and things out of that. We're not doing that. We leaned that. We did court actions on it. Guantanamo Bay for anybody that's not, you know. And then we created it anew and afresh. That is what reformation and reconstruction and renaissance and recovery is all about. Islam.
I have a question.
Islam.
When we nationalize the office of sheriff, can we use those subjects in the office as deputies?
As long as you know that you govern them, you can. If you are not sure that you govern them and you've not made that clear in your mind, because see, they already know it, then yes, you can use them, but just know that you govern them. Okay. And again, that is in alignment with the convention at Algeciras 1906, where the Sultan was, you know, I will say enacted, because we've restated that also, putting law enforcement on what we're doing. And that's also in alignment with letters of fire and sword letters, nobility, where we who are the head sheriffs do all of that. That is why, you know, the county courts, we are all the heads there. Noble Phoenix, before we started recording, you were talking about the medical examiner. I'll say this, I actually had the opportunity to go to a hospital to see and have some dealings with a medical examiner's office, and let me tell you, Morris, there's no one there. We're the head. We're the head. We're the head, and everyone knows it. We're the heads of that. The office was locked during business hours, and there was a sign on the door that said, well, first on the door, they had it inscribed on the door that it was open from 8 to 5, I think, or something like that. But then there was a note next to it saying, no, not open like that. Just if you need some help, call this number, push this button, and you'll get a recording and put the input or whatever, you know, select option whatever and do this and that. But there was no one there. No one there, and they were not coming back either. So when I realized what the ancestors were showing me with regard to that, it was a little scary at first, just for a split second, but not anymore, because we have work to do. We are the medical examiners. We are King County. We stated that, and sure enough, the actors got up and packed their bags and left. So with that being stated, and let me say this, that's with that, and don't let this scare you, because it's not, it's still working out the way it should. That's with people passing away and no medical examiner at the hospital. So then things are taking longer to get done as we continue to demonstrate who we really are. When we talked about the death office, the office of death, remember that? It's called OBIT in the Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, OBIT. And when you look that word up, it is a death office of the dead. And ever since then, the ancestors have been showing us how all of that works, and we're open to do whatever our job is on the land. With that being stated, is there a question, Empress Nana? Okay. Islam, Empress Nana?
Well, Carlton was here. Oh, Carlton.
Okay. So with that being stated, in our last Congress, we mentioned that this time this Congress was going to be about a coinage review of a few of the species of gold and silver that we've received so far. And again, our federal driver license program is going very well, very, very well. We've received just different kinds of gold and silver, so we're going to review some of the species so that we know the difference from, real gold and silver coins versus rounds and copies. Rounds, I believe, are real silver and gold, and then there's some plated copies that we don't accept, but they say copy on them. And so we'll show you some of those because we received some of those as well, and I think we mentioned that previously. Our ancestors know exactly what they're doing as we begin reaping what we've sown. And again, we're walking more sovereign dolarium gold receipts right on in. Okay, so as we're doing that and exchanging gold and silver for more sovereign dolarium, we're taking a look at the coinage so that each one of us will know, as we're continuing to govern, what to accept and what not to accept and things of that nature. So this is the information that the coins should have on them, okay? But not all of the coins that we received have a dollar amount and then the amount of fine gold that's there, or fine silver, 0.999 silver. Not all of the, some of the coins will have one or the other of these missing, or both missing, depending on what the coin looks like. And so that will be the determining factor on whether we accept the coin or not, or return it and just, state why we returned it. And we're cordial about that. This is the other side of that coin. It will have a year on it as well. And so here are some of the coins that we've received. We did receive one of those, several of those actually. And we scratched out the year for this. This is the front of the coin. And then the back of the coin looks like this. One of the ones that we received, it was a 1/10 ounce fine gold worth $5. Okay, whereas the 1 ounce was worth $50. Okay, it had $50 on it. So we did accept this coin. Let me pull this back just a little bit.
Islam
nobility.
So you accept that one coin, and let's say they sent it in for the driver's license.
Yes.
And it's 1 ounce.
Yes.
Is the exchange for the driver's license 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver, or, and then what is the amount of receipts in delirium that you give them back based on $50 unit?
So for a $50 unit, it's going to be 1 ounce times 50,000. So they would get 50,000 delirium.
And since they're only spending how much of that for the, or exchanging, so how much of that for the driver's license, as an example,
Mm-hmm.
$35? Is that it?
It's 50. It's one coin.
One coin.
It's the species. It's not the amount at this point. It's just the species. It's gold and silver. Okay, and so that whatever the amount of the coin is, so for example, with this coin, they would get 50,000 in more sovereign delirium receipts.
Okay.
And then this next coin here, we gave, it's a 1/10 coin, so they received 5,000 in delirium.
So we look at how many ounces of whatever the coin was.
Yes.
We know that the 1 ounce is 50,000 delirium.
Yes.
That's how we do the conversion and then figure out the change based on the coin that
yes.
they, and the amount of ounces of gold or silver that it was.
Yes.
And that's how we figure out how much we send them back and we give
yes.
them everything. Okay.
Yes.
I'm clear.
Yes. It's essentially a flat rate. 50,000 for gold, and we voted 30,000 for silver. So whatever size coin they send, and that way the people who send the larger coins, they just get more back. The people who send the smaller coins, they get less back, but they still get more than, they get 5,000. 1/10 is 5,000. Here's another coin. This is a silver 1 troy ounce buffalo coin, 0.999 fine silver. They make these in gold also. And so for this one, it would be 1 ounce of silver is 30,000, so they would get 30,000 in more sovereign delirium back for that. Here's a South African Krugerrand. It's a 1/10, 1 ounce, 1 ounce fine gold. If it's 1 ounce, well, the one on the right is 1 ounce. The one on the left is 1/10. So the 1/10 would get 5,000 back, the same as above. And this is the one on the left is one that we actually received, but my photos are not that good, and I removed the last 2 numbers of the year. And so this was a 1/10, so they received 5,000 and more sovereign delirium back. And then for the 1 ounce Krugerrand, they would receive 50,000 back. And this is just from a photo. This one on the left is from a photo, just so that you can see what the coin looks like. This is from online. I just pulled a photo from online of a 1 ounce. And then this is a 1/10 ounce. This is another coin that we received for the program. This is a silver, a 1 ounce silver dollar. So they would get back 30,000 in more sovereign delirium, 30,000. Okay, because it has the markings and the weight and measures and the amount, a dollar value. So we nationalize this first, and then we give it, and then we send the delirium. And nationalizing just means bringing it into our inventory and stating what it is, how much species is within it, and things of that nature. And we'll, usually they come with some paperwork and authentication or something of that nature. But if they don't come with that, you can go online and look at how much silver is in a 1 ounce fine silver $1 of that year whatever that year is. This one was a 2020 something. This is a 2000 and something. So let's say it's 2015. Then we would just go and look and see how much silver was in a 2015 Liberty coin, 1 ounce silver Liberty coin. And usually it's 0.999, but if it's not, it's still a 1 ounce fine silver. So we give the 30,000 for the 1 ounce fine silver with the correct markings and things of that nature. Because when we take it into our inventory, it goes onto our books as 30,000. And then that's capital reserves that we have in our treasury to use. This is another one, a beautiful coin that we received, a 1 troy ounce of 0.999 silver. This is a Cameroonian silver coin, 500 francs. And because it's 1 ounce, they will get the 30,000 in more $7 back for this coin, because it's a full ounce of silver. And then this is a gold bar from the American Precious Metals Exchange. So when we take it into our inventory, we take it in as 30,000, 0.999 fine silver, and this is the back of it, American Precious Metals Fine Metals Exchange. And so we just take it in as 1 ounce of fine silver, the same way we would a coin or anything of that nature. And then we don't use the abbreviations. We write everything out. And here's a coin that we received. Believe I think they call this the Sacagawea coin, but I didn't see that on here. Is it on here? No, this is the other side of that coin. It was a eagle. They called it an eagle.
That is the Sacagawea, though, $1 coin.
Okay, and it was minted at the Denver Mint. That's what this D is here.
No, wait a minute. Maybe that's not Sacagawea. That looks different.
It does look different, doesn't it?
It's not Sacagawea. I got to go look at one. I'm going to go look at one. Meantime, I sent you a comment in the question about the silver dollar. The quarters.
Okay. Let me just take a look at 4 silver quarters from see how much silver they are. 25 ounces of a silver dollar. I would look it up in answer to your question. I would look up how much it is for that. I would not assume. I would look it up, and it'll be out there on the internet somewhere. How much it is. Okay. This is another one that we received, minted at the Denver Mint, and so again, we just this one does not say how much it is. In other words, it doesn't say 0.999 ounces of gold or whatever. And for us, it didn't have to say that. We know it's a gold coin. We did a little research, and we're issuing based on the research that we've done. This is another coin. Now, this one that we received, it says privately minted. And it clearly states here that it's a silver round. Okay. On the back of it, it says 0.999 fine silver. So we went ahead and accepted it from the Money Metals Exchange. It's a 1/10 troy ounce. So then this one would be 3,000 in more $7 that they get back. I like that we can figure out how much it is just by looking at the coin. So again, it says privately minted here.
I confirm that Sacagawea coin that you pulled up a moment ago. That Liberty coin it just tarnished, but it was much more polished when it was new. But that is the right one.
Yes,
that's Sacagawea. That's a $1 value. Doesn't say how many ounces it is on it. Of gold.
Yeah. And we know what the ounces are just by what we've received and all of that. We can look at a coin now. So we're getting sharper at that as we go, as we do the demonstrations. So we did receive one of these. It looks like the Buffalo coin, but it had the word copy on it. And it had I think it had a hole in it too. But let me just show you the word copy was the word copy was on the face. It says COPY. It was right there. And I apologize that these photos are not that great. But it said copy. It did not have a year or anything. It had a year, but it didn't say that it was gold. So then when I did the research, I saw that because it's a copy, it was $19.99, $19.99, quote unquote, or 19 Federal Reserve debt notes. So what we did was we just sent it back to the one who sent it to us, and we didn't disrespect because he may not have known. What we did was just send it back because when we did our research, it said that it was gold-plated. They called it gold-laden or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to look that back up again, but it stated that that's what it was, so we knew that it was not acceptable for what we're doing because it's not real species. And so we sent it back to them with a memo stating that why we did not accept it, and also stating that, whenever they're ready, we're here to provide the work as necessary, however they choose. Okay. And I will say this, when I received this, it was nice and shiny, and it was gleaming. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful fake copy. So we had to do away. And then and I just put this here, we're not accepting these. It's just one I had in my inventory. We are accepting gold and silver at this time. Copper is not accepted at this time. This is a copper yen. Very beautiful, by the way. Very detailed. And it has a value on it. It has the oak leaves, the universal peace sign there. So are there any questions about these coins and the receipt of them and anything of that nature? So again, those who send in the coinage, you receive the amount of receipts based on what you send in. So those who want more receipts, they send in more gold and silver. So these are just some of the coins, and we wanted to share this with you so that as you're doing your work, that you can see what is acceptable, and it will basically say on the coin whether it's an acceptable coin or not. The silver rounds that are 0.999 fine gold, or fine silver rather, we went ahead and accepted that for now. And again, like as we're stating, over time the standard will develop to where everything is going to be like this right here. It's going to be properly marked. It's going to be properly stated. It's going to be all of that, and then all we have to do is bring it into our inventory and nationalize it. Okay? And when we nationalize it, the value of it goes up. That's the revaluation, and we've already started that process. So when they talked about an RV, a revaluing of the gold, and this and that and this and that, that's what we're doing already. And we are and we're doing that in alignment with everything that we stated in the past, even about more sovereign dollarium being real money and all of that. So with that being stated, we're going to continue moving in this direction and encourage all Moors to prepare to govern if you have not done so. Okay? And listen, if you are, I just know that where there's a will, there's a way, because I had when we first started this 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago, in 2017, if I had known then that we would be here now, who knew? But we're here now, where our money is equal to gold and silver, just like we stated way back in 2017, 2018 time frame. I'm so excited about that. Now, are there any questions, comments, wisdom regarding that? Some of the coins that we've received is people are doing what they can to get what it is they are desiring or willing to have. And it's going to increase as this time increases. As we continue moving forward, I see that the pace is being picked up according to it. The pace is actually picking up according to our actions and what we do. So as we properly record things and send things out and send notification out, the ancestors immediately hand us something greater to do, and I'm sure you all have noticed that in your work as well. So what did the ancestors hand us this time as we, again, are continuing to do the work? This is where we're going from here. And again, we've got a lot of different things that are manifesting in our vast estate. So this is just one of several other places. We talked about this a little bit in the last couple of meetings, and I was kind of listening for some feedback from you, for some feedback is maybe not the right word, or some wisdom from you regarding this next topic here. The Moorish National Republic Federal Government and the Islamic Moslem United States for America presents Gold and Silver Money Celebration Week. And I didn't use the word week. It's just Gold and Silver Money Celebration, March 18th through the 23rd. That week will be just to announce further and publish that which is already the law, if that's okay with you all. The United States Treasury currently holds nationalized gold that we sent in reserve for all Moorish sovereign dollarium gold receipts, Islam, to be issued for immediate circulation. Universal Postal Union receipt 7021 2720-0001-0886-3111. United States Post Office receipt, same number. United States Treasury receipt is the same number. So if we could discuss more about this week and what we want it to be, because it's time for us to, move forward in this manner. I'm listening to the Spirit on how to do that, how to do that. The originators and issuers of more sovereign delarium gold receipts are the ancient, sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine nations at Earth. Then there's another week. The Moorish National Republic Federal Government and the Islamic Moslem United States for America presents American Brics New Development Bank Agreement. We're restating that agreement, the Brics Agreement. We do have access to all of the Brics agreements that they've made up to this point, and it's not even really agreements, it's suggestions for us, because they really can't claim that because they don't have any gold or silver. It all belongs to us. And so they have offered some suggestions on how best to do that, how best to bring the nations together for gold-backed currency and how to make that work. And so we want to plan to actually meet here July 31st through August 4th, 2024. We will be meeting here for that time period. And so I want to share with you all the agreement on the bank. We did do a little, a little bit of, just one moment. We did do a little bit of restating, but not a whole lot. We will do more restating of this particular agreement, but we want to bring the nations together around real sound money, real money. When I read this agreement on the New Development Bank by the actors that were pretending to be the quote-unquote Brics nations, it sounded like something we wrote. I'll just say that right off the bat. When I read this document right here, before we began restating it, it sounds just like something this Congress would have written. So the governments for the United States for America to include continental North America. Continental North America is Greenland, Iceland, the Arctics, the poles, Canaan land, North America, Mexico, quote unquote, all of that. North America, South America, Central America, all adjoining islands, the United Kingdom, Africa, Asia, India, Russia, and all other assenting nations are collectively the Brics nations. Why are we calling it Brics nations? Number one, because we don't use acronyms. And number two, because the stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone. We know that the finance is the cornerstone. We know that. Everyone is aware of that. And so we're not done restating this document, but I can tell you that it was written specifically for us to restate. It says the founding members, Article 2, the founding members for the New Development Bank are the United States for America, to include continental North America and those same nations. I would encourage everyone to read this document. It's online, and we're restating it so that we can all look at it. It's a 15-page document. It's a 15-page document stating how the nations come together, what the banking is going to be like, what the capital reserves are going to be, and all of that. The link to it is as follows. Here, this is it in its original draft state. And again, we're restating this particular document. The link is in the chat, and we'll also put the link under the video so that you can read how they sound just like us, you know, in their mimicry. And so we're just taking the lead on everything Brics, all things Brics, so that we can come together with the other nations, those who assent to do so. Meet with them in August and agree and unify where economics and money is concerned. So for that, we're just going to go ahead and move forward. Islam.
It's interesting. I've been on a number of their so-called revaluation, Jasara and Nasara calls.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things they keep talking about is the order of payout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the government gets paid first. And, you know, when I first heard that, I'm like, yeah, and then the military and this and that, and then the nations around the world, and then, you know, at the very end is the people. And I heard that, and I was like, okay, all right. But then through all that we've been going through and studying, and we've been sharing for these past few months, okay, well, guess what? We are the government, so we're getting paid, but we're paying ourselves. We're not waiting for them to do it. That's the beauty of what we're doing with the levy process, the lien levy, and bonding process. Now, we are basically putting that in our own hands so that we can write our own checks. And especially when I got that little piece that I was missing with the special deposit, where we create our bank account and we just basically put that in there, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, well, so, okay, it's coming, it's here. I just got to, you know, finish my documentation.
Yes.
Make sure I have the complete understanding correct and execute.
Yes.
So I'm like, Islam, yes.
Yeah. The people, the government, the military, the nations, the banks, we are all of that. We're all of that. We're all of that. There's nothing that you named that we are not. So, or nothing that you stated that we are not. We are all of that. So, it's up to us. Listen, if they could have paid out anything close to that, they'd have done it in the 60s or the 50s or the 40s or the 30s or the 20s or something. But they can't do it. We have to do it. And so we're just taking it one step at a time because we know we got to get there. We know we're there already, really. All it is a matter of continuing to move forward in the manner that we're moving, where we continue to unify. Continue to unify. And I will say this about this Congress right here. This Congress right here, yes, indeed. This is what unification looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what unification looks like. I will say that this is a great example for everything. This is a great remnant to show everyone what unity looks like. And we just keep moving forward. I did also look at, and again, please take a moment to look at it as well. The Brics Agreement, and I'll put a link to that in the chat also because it's worth looking at. Their agreement is like 20-something pages, I think, 26 pages. It's 26 pages. And what they did it the same way that we've been doing what we've been doing. What they did was, it's any nation that agrees with their agreement, and it's not nations, they're actors. But this is how to do it because we've done it. Anyone who agrees, just put the documents on the public record, and you're in. As long as you're a nation, a valid nation, then that's, and this is, I'm talking about valid nation in terms of the actors, and which is, there's no such thing as a valid nation with them. But let's take a look really quickly. Each year, and we downloaded all of these, at least 3 of them, rather. Each year that Brics, quote unquote, the actors, started meeting, they met at a different place each time. And as they met at a different place each time, they would each, as the nation, whoever it was, the actors, as they would enact this particular document, because the document says the same thing with all of them. They edited words here and there after reading through each one. They edited according to their taste, according to their, the words they like to use. And then they just put it on the public record and bam, they're in Brics, So they didn't even meet until the following year. So whoever it was that said, hey, we want to be a part of this, they would say, okay, well, let's meet at your place next year. And as I looked at this document, it just looks like something we could have very easily written. This is a great tool to use as we move forward. But the part that interested me the most, because I was wondering about it myself, was about the capital reserves and how that works. Well, if we had seen this and thought that we were going to use fiat, we probably would have thought we can't do it. There's no way we can afford that. With more sovereign dollarium, we can pay easily. And so can the other nations who choose to join. They can easily pay as well. So payment of initial subscriptions to the paid-in capital by the founding members. I think it is here it is. Each founding member shall initially pay 100,000 shares in a total of $10 billion, of which 20,000 shares correspond to paid-in capital in a total of $2 billion. And 80,000 shares corresponds to callable capital in a total of $8 billion. So what they did was they used a percentage, like 10% of 80 billion is 80,000 shares. And you can correct my math, but that's the scale it seems that they're using, which to me is Islam in perspective.
That reminds me of a susu. That's what I'm seeing on this screen, like a susu. Everyone pays in, and it's like a susu and a trust at the same time. That's it. That's what I wanted to, because that's what first came to my mind when it says what I'm reading on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that, and the capital, the paid-in capital by the founding members. That's how everything was done in the past, except that people were not honorable in that last era. Whereas with us and with what we're doing, everyone is honorable. Everyone. So, with that being stated about how Brics works, we can see how it works, and then everyone coming together to agree. We're just going to continue to move forward with more sovereign dollarium and the gold and the silver and the programs that we have going on. We're going to keep moving forward. 100 billion, I saw the trillion note, but nothing in between 100 million and 1 trillion. I'll be in agreement. I think we do have.
If we do have the 100, if we have the $1 billion note,
I think we do have a $1 billion note.
$500 billion note. I have not seen them in the initial documents that show the delirium.
Yeah, I think we do. I'm pretty sure we do have a $1 billion note. I'm sure about that. We do have a $1 billion.
Well, and of course the reason I mention it is when we're doing the exchange on the records, and I need to say for 100 billion or 500 billion, I don't want to have to print out 500 $1 billion notes. That's a lot of ink unnecessarily to just do the exchange on the record.
Okay. Well, those are numbers that nations exchange back and forth. And so there should be some, I'm pretty sure we have a $1 billion note. We have a $1 trillion note also.
We do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do, because Empress Kenya, who designed the dollarium with us, she thought of everything. She thought of everything. And then we
1 billion and 1 trillion, was there anything in between? Higher than 1 billion, less than 1 trillion?
Let me see. No, probably not. Okay. But see, our thinking even with that is that as a nation, because those are national numbers, that's the kind of money that goes between nations, as you can see on the screen. We literally would send them 500 $1 billion notes. We literally would. We would take the time to print them out and stamp them and everything, and have security come with us as we deliver the money to them, because that's actually what was done that was enacted in the last era, is they would actually take a suitcase between nations and then have the SWIFT system follow it up with a transfer in ones and zeros, if that's part of the deal. So we from our perspective, we literally would print up 500, stamp and seal each one. It will have a serial number. It will have our autograph, wet ink autograph, and all of that. We would take the time to do that, because that's national, that's international work, And that way we would know what those serial numbers are and all of that. For example, in the 30s and the 20s, when they were doing bonds back and forth with China, quote unquote, in their enactment, they would print up 500 bonds at a certain amount and stamp and do whatever their enactments were. So we don't mind taking the time to do that. I don't think we have one in between there, because we really did not anticipate that many exchanges at that number. Well, even with 209 nations, This is how the exchanges will go. What's on the screen is how those exchanges happen. So we don't have anything. How many $500 billion deals are you planning on doing? You know,
Well,
there has to be product going back and forth too.
Right. I understood that. But this is as I'm bonding the my city and the state. You know, like I said, for the state of Florida, like with the $1 trillion, there's more than $1 trillion in commerce going through the state, no doubt, and product. But with the county, you know, I'm doing a little bit less than that. You know, let's just say billion. But on the initial sheet, the template that I have, which didn't have the serial numbers, perhaps that's what's missing. Is I don't have the template with the serial number portion on here, so I have to add that on, if I understood correctly myself, right? Is there a template that has serial number spacing for it, or we just have to add it in?
Yeah, there is a template that has that. I'm the only one using it right now just because of the pilot program.
Okay.
We're going to now that template. We'll have a special meeting for that because it's not going on a public record.
Gotcha. Okay, but so the original template that I have
Mm-hmm.
is only 100 million. I'm looking at it right now. So 100 million goes to.
Did you get the email? Because the email has billions and trillions in it.
I do not have that email. See, I don't know how I don't get these emails.
I don't either, because that is the mechanism by which, and everybody got the same email, and it has those in it.
Oh, speaking of that, I've been sending things to your email, and they've been coming back, and not to yours, to the government email.
Mm-hmm.
They've been coming back for lack of space or
yes.
saying that you're out of space.
Yes.
So they've been rejected or sent back as not delivered. Just
That's
FYI.
True. Okay. I'm working as fast as we can to.
But I just want to make sure you're aware of it.
Okay, thank you.
If anyone has that email and can forward it to me on the call.
Yes, everyone got the same email. I'm looking at Florida's budget. It's $112.1 billion, which is not. That can be, you know, with the delarium that we have, that can be. We don't need to do an extra one for that, because the bond and the $112.1 billion. Again, when we're doing these types of exchanges for cities, states, and things of that nature, it's going to take a little more than just something that would go to the grocery store. But that's what government is. It's a lot of paper. Okay, it's a lot of paper. But let us just explain why. Because we knew this was coming. In our words magic segment today, we looked up the word paper, and it says a whole bunch of stuff. But there's a couple of them that we want to bring to your attention, mainly number 12 in this unabridged dictionary. Paper. The definition of paper is documents proving the identity of a person. Credentials. A collection of documents, letters, writings, etc., especially of one person. So when you're talking about paper, whether it be money, documents, bonds, affidavits, court actions, no matter what the paper is, it's going to prove the identity of whoever it is, whoever's person is being used there. As we move forward, because see, at some point, even where Noble Phoenix is concerned, whenever there is a high value, let's say a $500 billion exchange going on, that's going to be even above, probably above the state level. But at the state level, and especially at the commercial level, where merchants and things of that nature are going on, that will be a specific process and program that where we can print a specific $500 billion instrument for that exchange. Those are not exchanges that we do every other day, unless we're doing governing Microsoft, Apple, and Nike all at once, which we will get to that point, but right now we're not there. And at that time, again, what we're doing now is just moving forward one step at a time, not even one step at a time. We are actually on horses rolling through quickly, spaceships, whatever. So if there is a $500 billion instrument that needs to be created, the instrument is created, whether it be a bond or whatever, and then the dolarium is printed out. And where government is concerned, we can't just say, I don't want to use that much paper. When that time comes, the ancestors will provide the paper. Take that from me. I would ask you to trust that word that I just put there, that when it's time for a $500 billion exchange to happen, you will have everything you need to make that happen.
Yeah, Islam, I've already got the paper. I got like, what do you call it? A case of paper.
Yeah.
More than a paper. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that's a lot to print out. And
that's all. And I'm just concerned about the ink. That's because I'm gonna have to get me a new printer, obviously. Because the one that I have is a low end budget, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start doing that mass of color and everything, it's gonna wear that little printer right out.
When it's time, you're gonna have everything you need.
Yes. Yes.
You're gonna have more than everything you need. I'll let you in on a little secret. My printer is down right now. I put a label in there.
Right.
And the label peeled off and it got stuck in there.
Oh, and you can't even get inside to get it out, right? Yeah.
I can't say that I can't get inside, because if the ancestors say go in there, I'm going in there. Because nothing's going to stop us from doing our job.
Exactly.
But I know that happened because the ancestors wanted to slow me down for a minute so that they could bring some things to our attention. We know that. So we're not even worried about it. When it's time, it'll work. Or we'll make it work like we've been doing for 6.5 years. Since 2017, we've been doing all this ourselves.
Islam, we have.
On like zero fiat almost. Yeah. You could say it's been bank credits going back and forth, but not millions of dollars to get all this done. Not even hundreds of thousands. It's been a very tiny, minuscule budget. And the ancestors still made it happen.
Islam, Empress.
Islam.
So I can get an understanding. You mentioned the Brics for us to have the understanding for what now to get ready to do. Is each nation state like New York gonna have to get and print the $1 billion of dolarium to give to the government nation? No. So help me understand, please, because I got lost in translation.
So when it's time for us to print, this is what we were saying. When it's time for us to print $500 billion in more sovereign dolarium, we will have everything we need to do that.
But where is it going?
Well, we'll know when it's time to print it.
Okay.
And again, those types of exchanges happen between. Those usually happen. In this is from my contracting experience. Those types of exchanges happen not in a 1 year period. They happen over time. Whenever there's a $500 billion deal, it's a $500 billion 5-year deal.
So it's $1 million each year.
So it's $1 billion each year, or however much each year. Yeah, it's $100 billion each year. And we will have, again, what we need to do that when the time comes. Those types will happen in contracting. They do happen. It will that's a 5-year contract for, let's say, to have a certain number of airplanes built. It's that kind of thing. And so when we get to that point, we will have everything we need in order to print that up and have it done. And that kind of money, especially where we're concerned, we can do it either by bond, gold, silver, or more sovereign dollarium, or all of the above, or a mix of all of the above. You know, so that's what that's for. If let's say Washington or New York wanted to buy 5 Boeing 787s for government business. Okay, then $500 billion over a 5-year period, and then Boeing would get to work making them, or Northrop Grumman, or whomever's going to make those. We'll get busy making them, and you would give them a certain amount up front for their supplies and everything, and then a certain amount each year from that point. That's how $500 billion deals are done over time. Very rarely will you have a $500 billion deal that's done for 1 year. Very rarely. And when that's done, you will still have everything you need in order for that to be done seamlessly. I found out over this past weekend that those that were doing business as the Federal Reserve in the last era only had 2 Xerox computers that was putting out all that stuff they put out. 2 Xerox computers.
But they were never printing the money either. They were sent over an order to the mint to actually print out the Federal Reserve notes.
Not the Treasury uses the mint. The Federal Reserve was back there printing their own stuff, and the majority of what they printed was in the computer. It wasn't actual physical dollars. It was the ones and zeros to J.P. Morgan Chase.
Right. So that's why they didn't need much more than that, because they weren't printing out these trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Dollars. They weren't really printing those out.
When I heard that, though, Noble Phoenix, 2 Xerox computers, and y'all lasted this long with 2 Xerox computers? Really?
They could have been very powerful ones too.
Well, I saw what they looked like, and they looked like some old-timey stuff.
Really?
Yeah, some old-timey, old-fashioned, big clunky. I'm surprised they still made paper and ink for those things.
Wow.
So, Empress Shima, what you inboxed is interesting. Is interesting because see now it sounds like they're talking about our numbers and not their numbers, and that's going to happen. Our numbers. When you hear them saying things like production is picking up and we have enough money to do this, this, and this, they're not even talking about their numbers. They're talking about ours, because that has to flip also. All of that has to flip. So with that being stated,
Islam,
Empress.
When you kept mentioning Xerox and there was 2 printers and computers, I looked up the word Xerox from etymology, And it says the word is coined in the 1950s from xerography, printing without the use of liquid chemicals, which is the Greek root xerox, quote unquote dry, and an ending borrowed from photography.
Wow.
So
Yep.
it's dry, not wet. There's no chemicals, and so.
Wow.
Interesting.
To me, that just says there's a million and one ways to get things done, and let's just get it done, because that's kind of crazy. I want to not want to. I will to look a little bit more at the definition of paper, but again, when people were saying things like, you don't have to do all that paperwork, you don't have to do all that paperwork, how do you prove the identity of a person without the paperwork? Now, our identity as the people, we can just say that, okay? But then we, of course, we follow up with national ID cards and nationality paperwork documents. But when you're talking about a person, like Pauline Denise Ritchie, the person that I created, how do I prove that that's my Pauline and not their Pauline, that the dead Pauline that they created, that the dead created in the last era? By my paperwork. By my paperwork. That's why we're doing all the things we're doing. Identity is proven. It is a written examination or report. That means back to the right port, back to ancient Morocco. That is how persons go back to ancient Morocco. Number 8 says a free pass or free passes to any place of entertainment, also the persons admitted by such passes, as the house was filled with paper. And then I looked up, it says to help to fill a theater by issuing free passes. That's paper. And then it says a paper book. In English law, a copy of the demurrer book, which contains the pleadings on both sides in an action at law, when the issue is one not of fact, but of law. See, law is tried in court. Fact is not tried in court. And even with law being tried in court, it's not tried from a place of criminality. We try the law in our Congresses all the time. And when we say try, we examine it, we review it, we say yay on this or nay on that. That is trying something, the law. We make decisions on that. We make and enforce. We create and enforce law. And that's why it says what it says about law in a paper book. Get this one, paper chase, the game of hare and hounds in which pieces of paper are scattered as scent. Scent. Assent. Consent. Right? So those who in the last era were saying that they are paper chasers, the rappers who were saying in their rap songs that they were paper chasers, that's what they were doing. And whether they found the paper or not, most of them didn't. I can tell you that. Paper money, non-interest bearing notes issued by a government or its banks, circulating as a substitute for metallic money, as a dollar bill is paper money. And remember, whenever you put the word bill after something, that changes the nature of the dollar. They could have said a dollar is paper money, but it's not. A dollar is actually money. A dollar bill is paper money. That's the substitute for metallic money that they're talking about. But they can't talk about a dollar being actually real money because it has our signature on it. Ours is not a substitute for metallic money. Ours is gold and silver because it has our energy on it. Paperwork. The keeping of records, and this is important, filing of reports. Reports is to me, that's the word of the year. Reports. Because when I was in the Air Force back in the 90s, we had to say, like if someone of a higher rank called us, we had to say, Sergeant Ritchie reports as ordered. Right? They had us trained. So report is access to a portal back to ancient Morocco. Okay? Just one moment. Just a moment. Let me see where that's coming from. So another something that we now, let me tell you why paper is so important right now too. Because see, first of all, we don't have to worry about a supply of paper. We have an endless supply of paper. Operation Paper. This came into my purview today, and all I want to do is just run through it really quickly because it's very important. Operation Paper. Did we know that was an operation? No, we didn't know that. Let's see what that is. It says, since the 19th century, the United States government has participated and interfered both overtly and covertly in the replacement of many foreign governments, period. In the latter half of the 19th century, now notice they changed who they're talking about now. The U.S. government initiated actions for regime change mainly in Latin America. So what they're saying is the change started at America first, and the Southwest Pacific, including the Spanish -American and Philippine -American wars. Who were the Spanish and who were the Americans? Who were the Philippines and who were the Americans in this war that they're talking about here? That means folks were switching identities. That's what war is. It's people switching identities when overtly or covertly. And it was all done by paper. That's why this is called Operation Paper. Look it up in Wikipedia. Operation Paper is the replacement enactment, replacing the true government. So what are we doing? We're reversing the enactment. And we're not really even reversing it because we're still the government. Always will be. All we're doing is stating, okay, y'all can stop acting. We're the government. We know we are. That's what Operation Paper is. And then here on quote unquote Wikipedia, they start talking about, they just give a brief synopsis of how that happened on paper. And we can see our own story in this Operation Paper piece right here. All of this is the enactments that were done all over the place the enactment, Operation Paper. So we'll put this link in the chat as well, or you can just Google Operation Paper and it will bring this up. It'll bring it up. Now it shows some of the photos that you see in here. It shows how those who were put there shook hands and contracted with the actors. By the way, in this photo here, that's the actor, Ronald Reagan. He was an actor. He wasn't, that's not real, none of that's real. He was an actor. All of them were actors. Okay? And so this page right here just kind of showed how the enactments happened. It wasn't real. Operation Paper, all done by paper. Okay? Operation Paper. And that's why paper is so important with what we're doing. All we're doing is matching our paperwork and our documents with our ancestors' paperwork and documents. Something that I pulled up also really quickly, the French Revolution. It says here, the revolution of the people, just a moment, let me put that on its right side. Let me make it the right size here. The revolution of the people against the monarchy in France. Now they say in France, it says it began in 1789, and we know what was happening in 1789. There was a constitution written in 1789. It says it resulted in the establishment of a republic and ended in 1799 with the consulate under Napoleon. Does that not sound familiar? The people stand up, the republic is established, the consulate is established. Those go together. Everything that we've done goes together, except we're not at war. Same thing. Now, they said that happened in France in 1789 and ended in 1799, but I pulled up a French revolutionary calendar, the definition for that. It says the official calendar of the First French Republic, adopted in 1793, which is the same time we just talked about here. Just a moment, let me pull this out of the way. Adopted in 1793 and abolished in 1805, it consisted of 12 months, each containing 30 days and divided into 3 periods called decades, with 5 extra days in the regular year. Does that not sound familiar about the changing of the times around this time when a consulate was formed and the republic was established, and then they changed the time here? Did we know this when as we've been governing the way that we've been governing? We hadn't looked into it like that, but it makes sense to us. The changing of the times and seasons, the changing of the laws, the consulate, the republic, we're actually making her story history by doing what we're doing. And then I looked up the French and Indian War, and it tells you actually where everything started. That part of the 7 Years' War, and they call it the 7 Years' War and then turn right around and say that the French Revolution was another war fought. So the war really never ended. That part of the 7 Years' War between England and France, which was fought in America from 1754 to 1763. So my question for us to just think about. And if anybody can answer it, I'd love to hear the answer. Where are the French people that were fighting here? And where are the Indians that were fighting here? And which one was England and which one was France? So England had some Indians fighting here? Or the France had some French people fighting here? Where are all of them now, and why were they fighting here, and who let them fight here? Where are they? Were they a nation? Were they states?
Islam.
Islam, Empress.
Well, my first thought is it was on paper.
Of course it was.
It was never in blood or, flesh. It was in paper, on writings.
They've all been on paper.
In spells, bound, and binded.
Yep.
And placed on the public records.
Yep.
And talked about, and all that stuff, propagandized and, commercialized and, funded with fiat.
Yeah.
Just by paper.
Yeah.
Because,
you and I have had conversations about how much paper it is, and how some people would say that's too much paper, and we would tell them that the paper is you called it death by 1,000 cuts.
I sure did.
That's truth. It doesn't happen any other way.
Mm-hmm.
Decapitation, when they talk about the French Revolution and how the Jacobins came and all these heads were rolling in the streets, that was all on paper, with using capitalism to decapitate, and so on and so forth. So when people tell you that it doesn't take all that paper, oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. But you know what? I will say this. This Congress has worked so diligently with the paperwork that we can look around and see the changes that have happened because of it.
Affirm Islam. We have a testimony that is now marinating, but it'll be displayed soon on the presentment. But yes, it's a juicy one, as they say.
Indeed.
Islam.
This that we're showing you, it's almost like our book was written before we got here. Consulate, Republic, the paper, doing everything the way that we're doing it, being led by the Spirit. And so as we looked up these words and all of that, these are some savings bonds, by the way. I just took some photos of it. These are some savings bonds, pictures of savings bonds that I took. So the different types of bonds that are out there, because there's some bonds that are 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with some type of bond around it. It has what do you call that? Border around the bond.
Yeah, the border, yeah.
So there are different types of bonds. These bonds are like more sovereign dolarium. These are
Islam, if I may. What just came to me while you show us this presentment is it doesn't matter what it's on, what it looks like, as long as you have a connection to the Treasury by an account number, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. As long as you properly state the information properly on the document, the instrument.
Yes.
That's it. Islam.
Yes. So, having said that, we will show the Moorish sovereign dolarium gold receipts that we use and how we number them and everything. But we're not going to do that on the public record. We're only going to do that in in a closed meeting with those who are actually doing the work. Are we worried about copies and things, people counterfeiting? No, we're not worried, because you can't counterfeit a hot, wet ink signature and a right red thumbprint. You can't counterfeit that. So, and then those who get Delarium from us, they're going to get them from us while they're sitting right in front of us. That's how we've been giving our Delarium. We've been mailing Delarium out too, but we're not worried about any counterfeiting. Our ancestors know what they're doing, and so they're working through us. So we're going to keep going because of the stamps and seals of that's on our Delarium, and what the occasion is, because Delarium is not something that you just hand out randomly without any documentation attached or any documentation preceding. Okay, so everybody that gets Delarium will be getting it a certain way, and that's the way we've been doing, which is affidavits, and then some company letters and letterhead, company affidavits. That's how Delarium goes out. And everyone's been sending Delarium everywhere, which we're so grateful for that, because they're seeing the results of their demonstrations. So with that being stated, let me see, I believe that is all we have. I want to make sure I didn't skip anything. Yeah, everything was done by paper. Everything, everything was done by paper. Are we okay with the American Brics New Development Bank Agreement being signed July 31st through August 4th with all the nations? We're just going to talk it up and talk it up and talk it up and begin meeting with people via or what we could do is, again, the same way that Brics was done. Do the documentation, restate the document. We'll vote on the document once we restate the whole thing. And then we'll put it out for the other nations to autograph, and they can send a copy to us or put a copy on the public record so we can find it, so that we agree on the new development bank agreement and the amount of capital that's coming in. And again, any of the nations that are going to be a party to this bank and this agreement, we will meet with you and send you the Delarium that you need in order to pay the amount, the capital amounts, unless you have your own money. And the Congress, that's something that we as a Congress will talk about. We're stating that now, but the Congress has the final word. I'm just putting some energy out there and some ideas out there as we move forward in development of our banking and all that has to do with our treasury and everything. The new development bank agreement is a bank agreement with our treasury. So it's not like we're inventing a new bank or anything. We're not doing that. The new development bank is the treasuries of all the nations together based on their capital input and this agreement. But when you read the agreement, it's going to sound like we wrote it. It says, that no matter where this bank is, it's not taxed. That it just says a whole lot of things that sound like us, And of course, we're going to tailor it, and some of that may change over time. We're just going to govern according to the Spirit and each other and what we all agree to. Are there any other questions, comments, or wisdom about the bank and about the Brics agreement? We'll be talking it through over time, so we don't have to make any decisions right off the bat. I'm putting this out here for us to approve and vote on, so that we can begin restating the document, so that the other nations can be made aware, so that they can plan on being present for that meeting. And then this gold and silver money celebration, we're going to just be notifying banks, those subjects in the office of banks, rather, further. All we're doing is continuing to notify and then demonstrating our money, demonstrating gold and silver, demonstrating more sovereign dollarium gold receipts. We're going to be doing that all along the way continuously anyway. But if anyone has any suggestions or questions about any of these dates, please, please, please speak at any time. Is there anything further from this Holy Congress? Anything further from this Holy Congress?
Islam, I have a question.
Islam.
So the celebration part, is there a particular reason why you chose that one word?
The word celebration? Yes, because we need to celebrate. Because we've been working and working and working, and we have not taken the time to smell the roses. I know we haven't taken much time away from the work, and I would like for us to just celebrate, just breathe and celebrate the success of our money system.
Okay.
Islam nobility.
Just a quick question. This is Atiba Day, New York Territory. Just a little quick question.
Yes.
Is it Moorish Delarium or Moorish gold back Delarium? Yeah, is that trick play on?
It's Moorish Sovereign Delarium gold receipts. Moorish, and we call it Delarium for short because that's what it is. It's Moorish Sovereign Delarium. We say gold receipts because we're exchanging it for gold, but it's also silver receipts. It's also bonds. It can be vouchers. It can be currency of any kind. It can even be copper receipts and platinum receipts and coffee bean receipts and crop receipts. It just depends, but it is substance for substance.
Okay,
Islam. And the substance being our energy and our signature and our right red thumbprint on the Delarium. Any other questions, comments, wisdom from this amazing Congress?
Parting comment, I'm willing to celebrate gold and silver.
Yes, indeed. Justice Atiba, also, I was going to take a survey, not a survey because it's not really a survey. I was going to ask this Congress who is willing to do the work that we've been talking about with the gold and silver, the notary, any court actions, anything that has to do with that. Who is willing to do that who's willing to state that they will do that on the public record? Because at some point we will meet in a closed meeting so that we can show the gold receipts and all of that. So Islam.
So you're asking that question like as far as in the alignment with the license demonstration?
Yeah, but not just the license demonstration. It could be notary, it could be court, it could be firearms, it could be any of those.
Well, sign Nate and I up because we already and the Congress at New York because we have already been speaking consistently about doing that work. We've already got plans working and irons in the fire, as it were.
Islam. Well, we'll talk about it some more over the coming days and weeks, and then we will meet again on Sunday. On Sunday, if we could go ahead and just when you have time, look through the Brics documents, because I know many of you are busy doing things at your territories and governing your territories. We don't want to take up all of your time. We're going to be more mindful of your time as well. And so, we want to ensure that everyone has a clear inner and understanding of where we are and where we're going. We're writing the vision. We're making it plain so that everyone will know exactly, when people say, what is the Moorish National Republic federal government doing? What is the Islamic Moslem United States doing? We're doing that. Yes, indeed. If there be nothing further from this beautiful, amazing Congress, peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural divine heirs and their subjects, Islam.
Peace and grand rising.
Islam, peace and grand rising.
Grand rising.
Love, truth,
Islam, peace and love,
justice.
grand rising.
Islam.
Love and peace. Appreciate your wisdom and your works, boys. Love and peace.
Love you too. Islam.
Peace and love. Islam, peace and love.
Islam, Empress.
Gratitude to you, Empress Light.
Thank you so much, Empress, and same to you. Islam.